I am pleased to acknowledge the Smithsonian University graduating class of 2042. Graduates, rise and be recognized.
This is really it for you. 20 years of your life in school and you're finally done.
A self-imposed institutionalization for the safety of myself and others.
A notable ending to precede the beginning of a legendary career.
It's a good thing I'm in science and not fiction, because that would be one boring legend.
Oh, come on. I can hear the promo for the TV biography now. Who is Elaine Sand? Serbian war orphan, adopted by American parents, a brilliant scholar, graduated summa cum laude from her doctoral program and changed the field of archaeoanthropology forever. Tune in tonight at 9
You forgot about 13 years of boredom spent in the Maryland suburbs.
I'll never understand you. You never give yourself any credit.
Well, why don't you congratulate me with a kiss, and I'll consider it a life well spent.
That sounds fair.
So, where do you see yourself going now that you can kiss that cruddy basement office goodbye?
Hey, I love that cruddy basement office.
Yeah, and you say I don't give myself enough credit, they'll probably bury you down there one day. It's deep enough after all. Who is Peter Clark? Brilliant son of a famed archaeologist who was so obsessed with living forever like a pharaoh that he spent his entire life underground until he finally figured out how. Seriously, in the whole world, where do you want to be the most?
Well, it'd be heaven to be inside you right now.
Sir! I'm afraid you'll need a passport, up-to-date vaccinations, and a visa signed triplicate. The waiting list can be very long.
I'm not worried. I've got friends at the embassy. Hey, give that back.
That's really good. What's that flavor? Kiwi? Passion fruit?
Mango. Will I get it back?
Sure. Are you going to Liz's party?
No, seriously. Will I get it back? It's pretty expensive stuff.
What are you smoking? It's chewing gum. There's no cheaper consumer product.
Incorrect. That is memory gum. I got it from some nerd website.
Huh, whatever.
No, really. It tastes like nothing, but if you chew it after you eat your favorite food, it tastes like your favorite food, like, indefinitely. It's pretty high-tech stuff.
So, we've dated how long? And I didn't know that your favorite flavor was mango?
Hey, in high school it was practically a nickname.
Okay, well, if I see you at Liz's party tonight, I'm sure you'll get it back in the same manner that you lost it. See you later, Mango.
Hey, Liz! Have you seen Peter here tonight? You have no idea how excited your arrival has made us.
Oh. Did I pass out? Are you Liz's friends?
I am unaware of any Liz. However, we are certainly friends of yours.
Oh. Did I actually wear this to the party? Why the hell am I in a library?
Miss, we could certainly tell you, but it wouldn't make any difference.
How long was I out? Is it Saturday?
Saturday, yesterday, last week. Data like where and when will certainly be irrelevant to you this far past the mark.
You will certainly find it easier to adjust if you just take some time to rest. Explore the library later, if you please.
You will likely spend much of the next few days asleep. Regenerated organisms tend to know a fleeting grip on consciousness through their first few days back. But we are certainly glad you made it here.
I'm not a prisoner, right? I can leave if I want?
Certainly. You sleep so soundly. You must have been tired. It's fascinating watching you wander through our collection, absorbing knowledge as you do.
It's funny. Can't even remember most of it. A lifelong student studies even in her sleep, I suppose. So far, I gather that you're scientists and I'm not in Washington anymore.
That is accurate.
I'm also a scientist. I study the past.
I know. You also talk while you sleep.
Am I dead?
We encounter the dead regularly, and I can't say you fit the description. We recovered your genetic essence from an inorganic substance, and we regenerated you.
Regenerated me? Was I even asked about this? My entire essence was chewed up and spit out into some futuristic lab, but was consent ever discussed? What if my soul needed to move on?
Move on to where?
I don't know. An afterlife of some kind? Extended consciousness? An ethereal realm free of the pain of physical living? You know, whatever they promise you in Sunday school for being good.
I don't know what you had in mind, but you will certainly never know pain here. Unless you wanted to, that is. Your experiences are currently being modified by our familiarity synthesizer, a device that allows all the stimuli around you to be tempered to your own comfort and liking. My words are not of your language, but are automatically processed and converted into those of greatest meaning to you. If there is anything about the reality around you that is not to your liking, simply change it.
If that were true, there'd be a... Oh my god. Is that really chai?
Is it what you remember chai to be? This student learns quickly, but something discomforts you still.
How far are we from Earth?
Unfortunately, the true Earth was consumed by its own sun long ago. But by using deep scanners, quantum reproduction, and fractal compression, we have preserved it in living detail in a box in this library. You seem to have already found our surveys. They're highly detailed, aren't they?
In the big picture, we were so tiny. Why did you go through the trouble? Why did you seek it out?
Long ago, Earth was home to our people, too. Eventually, every wayward bastard son packs his bags and hits the road, looking for Daddy's name in the phone books of small towns.
How are you able to phrase things with such meaningful context to life on Earth?
These are not my words that you hear.
Doesn't make any sense. It all sounds so poetic.
Well, maybe you have more poetry in you than you think.
What were you doing in there? What do you seek that you lack now?
I don't know. Something familiar? On Earth, I studied the past because I always had the 21st century to return to. Full of faces and voices. Here I have nothing.
That device you retrieved, what data does it hold that you don't have here in our library?
My DNA. I mean, the DNA of my boyfriend, Peter. You brought me back to life by nothing but a retrieved code preserved on Earth. He worked his entire life to sequence and store his entire genetic blueprint in here. I want him with me again.
Our code of ethics surrounding the science of biography is very strict. You were born of an organic scrap we found at the source. In it was preserved a living essence.
Like a soul?
Of sorts.
In this machine, however complete his life code may be, the being we might bear from his pattern may be nothing more than a sterile doppelganger, a counterfeit of the one you once loved.
I need this.
We will consult the council. But for now, would you accept lucid hypnosis as a means to see this man again until they reach a decision?
I don't understand. Lucid hypnosis?
It would be as if you were dreaming. Except your subconsciousness will choose a beautiful moment from your life, and you will exist within it until we recall you.
Oh my God, Peter, it's you. It's really you.
Feel free to linger in these memories as long as you please. The council is now voting.
I never thought I'd see you again.
Hey, I'll always love you.
I love you too. So much.
You know, I've always been a sucker for strawberry blondes.
What are you talking about? Don't worry. She'll never find out about us. We were planning on breaking up after graduation. What?
The council has agreed to replicate Peter from the electronic code. Do you wish to continue the hypnosis?
Wait! Just wait. I need to remember her just as he was.
What do you mean, her? Our ratings say something is very unusual about your brain.
Just wait! I love you, Valerie.
I love you too, Peter.
Elaine, please! I love you! Ah! What's happening, Elaine? Fuck you!
It's very unusual, sir. She's locked herself in isolation ever since the disruption.
The disruption? The disruption?
The consciousness convergence, sir.
I realize you may be referring to the incident. In the Council's unified opinion, this entire experiment has been the disruption. Your subject's continued existence here threatens the very fabric of our reality.
What else do you propose? No discovery before her has promised as much, and
Your subject has gained unauthorized access to our Earth surveys, and isolated herself inside a lucid simulation in her own mind, to which you have no access. From where I stand, it appears she has made a subject of you.
we just need more time. She will emerge. History will be changed by what the subject has to teach us.
History we will be if she does not emerge and normalize within the next cycle. The simulation cannot bear the imbalance she creates. Her equations are broken and break all others they encounter. We cannot manage this many repairs.
We must try.
try we will. But our world must be protected at all costs. It's been several days. We've been trying to make contact with you. The scholars are worried about your state of being.
Days. 24 hours. Earth hours. Do you actually measure time here?
As you are well aware, everything you perceive is being run through the familiarity synthesizer to provide you with an experience suitable to the constraints of your psyche.
Yes. And the level of detail you've managed to render is quite impressive. Uncanny, really.
Our deep planetary scanners have been perfected for eons. Not a grain of dust can escape our detection.
I believe you. I've been over this patch of ground 1,000 times, and you nailed it. Every angle of every stone in the yard, every knot in every tree. Even those joints I hid in an Altoids box underneath the bleacher of my high school. It's comforting knowing that someone, anyone, could come to know a place as well as you had, even after it was gone. Thank you for keeping these places intact.
You are perhaps our most miraculous discovery from all of the Earth excavations undertaken. To deny you context from life, so distant, would have been to observe you without a reference point. It would have been like observing a fish on land.
You may have guessed what I've been thinking about in here. You know, what could have been with Peter or whoever I was supposed to end up with.
You are experiencing pain. All we know of your kind is that eventually, the pain of sentiment always passes with time. Be patient.
Peter and I always talked about hitting up this little restaurant in St. Paul, Minnesota. We never did. But when I went looking for it in here, what do you know? It's totally blank inside. Good thing we never tried making those reservations, right?
Have there never been gaps in your data, Dr. Sand?
Giving you the benefit of the doubt, of course, I returned here to my childhood home in hopes to regain a grasp on my earthly life, as imperfect as it was.
Yes, and here you remain. How much more time is required until you regain this grasp?
So I walked into the house and found not a speck of dust out of place. All my clothes and posters exactly where I had left them.
Are we speaking, you and I? Your rapport is as with a recording. Am I speaking to Dr. Elaine Sand or her replicant?
You're hearing me just fine. We're communicating, but I think maybe for the first time you're actually listening. This house, the house in which I grew up, I walked every room, explored every nook. But when I tried to enter Father's office, I found that it too was completely blank inside. I mean, what was he doing in there all those nights?
How can you assume something missing which you have not seen?
Dad's office was the only room I wasn't allowed in. Exploring the world you created in here after that, I realized you didn't have anything I hadn't already seen. The world didn't make it, did it? I mean, there was nothing left to study or excavate other than that of which was in my mind. Was there?
To reveal every layer of truth would have shattered your mind, collapsing the Pharaoh's tomb which we had discovered. To preserve you, we gave you a safe environment in which to thrive.
A goldfish is given a safe environment, but no autonomy, no agency, just a pet behind glass.
To continue your metaphor, a goldfish given autonomy in an alien world would writhe and choke to death on the floor of a habitat for which it was not fit.
Earth, my home. No one made it out alive, did they?
In our defense, we've seen you upset, and we wish to prevent causing it however we could. We are your descendants, are we not? Somehow, some of you escaped before exploring Father's office. A simple answer as to Earth's fate would not satisfy you, but would prove only to destroy you. I can see what you are doing. You are defeated, but you know not how to concede. We have worked for millennia to perfect our world. Any imperfect thing can be repaired in an instant simply by wishing it so. Now you, who only exist here again by our own efforts, choose to threaten the good of our world through a cancerous fixation on the long-dead faults of your own barbaric time. We wish to make you a scholar in our Fellowship of Learning, but your primitive fetish with fault precludes your candidacy.
You resurrected me to study the past, but you are too obsessed with your own fetish for perfection to actually ever learn anything that is, of course, what you were already prepared to learn. There is no pain here, so there is no lesson to learn.
Exactly. No pain. We are free of pain and clear of thought. Your point is what?
Pain is how we learn. Science can't exist in a shell. Data is everywhere, but especially in pain. Pain is where something went wrong. Even in perfect experiments, the output is solid data, plus a lifetime of additional questions. Science was never meant to be finished.
Speaking of science, ours is waylaid until you emerge from this chamber of nostalgia. What can I say to compel you to emerge and return with me?
It was never my goal to hold your science hostage, but it is within me as a scientist to seek answers and to perfect the scientific systems that I am a part of.
Do you not isolate a telescope or a microscope from dust to preserve the clarity of the image?
Yes, but what if the greatest discovery lies within the dust itself? Do you throw out every result that doesn't match up with your hypothesis? Errant data ruins your experiment, and it hurts, doesn't it? To negate pain from your equation is to willingly throw out information that is valuable.
Stop! Your ignorance and your sustained obstinance have proven you unfit to join our fellowship of scholars.
Fine. You want me to craft my own reality free from pain and conflict?
Do it! It's the only way!